see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 132 people in 10 different countries. And the theme for this healing and the set of 3 healings and the other set of 2 this month is abundance, putting mystical and rational knowledge into action. So I'm excited, and I hope you are too. So I'm waiting for confirmation. I don't want to get too far along. There we go. I'm assuming you can see and hear me, but it would be nice if you would specify that. Ah, yes. Yay. Thank you. That's good. Okay. So abundance, I do mean money-wise, financially, but also just being able to manifest. You know, abundance is kind of manifesting. So it's not only financially, I would say more in that general sense of like it's having enough of what you need when you need it. That's what we're working. And it is very workable. Part of it is it's a first chakra thing. And first chakra is the energy center at the base of your spine. And you have to be, it helps to be in the other chakras and then also in your first chakra in order to have more abundance, more stability with your abundance. But we're not going to work it only as a chakra thing. We'll use other techniques. So for example, I changed the heading. So one way that I know we're going to work it today, it would probably be the most significant thing of this healing, is we're going to work the CV and GV meridians, your yin energy and your yang energy, and working on making them both equally as strong. So the CV meridian goes up they both start in the crotch. One goes up the midline of the back and hooks around the front and ends in the roof of the mouth. So it's like a big, or like a candy cane shape. And that's the GV meridian, governing vessel for managing yang meridians. So your self-assertiveness, etc. The yin meridian, the one that manages your yin meridians is the CV, conception vessel meridian. So that starts in the crotch and goes up the midline of the front and ends roughly in the tip of the tongue. So we're going to work those meridians, but more than that, the Wei Qi auras that go with those meridians. So each of these, the 12 regular meridians plus CV and GV plus another one, they each have their own Wei Qi auras. And so that's a big part of how strong that meridian can be, is how flowing and how much gold light is in that particular Wei Qi aura. So that's what we're going to do a lot of, is kind of uncrushing both of those auras, making sure they're unblocked in much deeper levels than we usually would do. So I want to highlight a specific concept. So with abundance, and manifesting in general, it's not just a one and done thing. You have to hold on to what you have. Like, you have to not get crushed once you manifest it, because you can lose things. You can lose money. You can lose, like some appliance was working one day and now it's completely busted. You can lose levels of manifestation. So the idea is to be able to step forward, but then hold your power and your strength and not get crushed. And then you can regroup and step forward again and hold that ground, and then step forward again and hold that ground. So it's a slight oversimplification, but I'm going to say that the stepping forward is the GV, the self-assertiveness, and the holding ground is the CV meridian, the yin meridians. So again, that is partially an oversimplification. So it's not like purely accurate, but it's accurate enough that that's how we're going to work it. So because I was looking at various clients that do have a problem with manifesting, and some of them are equally weak, too weak in both GV and CV aspects, yang and yin aspects. But I would say almost just as common is people that have a strong yang and they can step forward, but then they get crushed. So then they step forward in a different way and then they get crushed again. And they step forward in a different way and they get crushed again. And, it's very hard to step forward again once you've gotten crushed. And so it's, this really dramatic, long, drawn out thing that doesn't amount to much. So that's the idea. You want to be able to hold the ground that you gain by stepping forward. Otherwise, you get crushed and that sucks. So we want life to not suck. Above all, that's the sort of the underlining goal, is for life not to suck. Right? We want you to be able to enjoy your life and not feel like you're crushed all the time. Right? So that's the goal. That's what we're going to be working today, is stepping forward and holding your ground. So it's easier to step forward again too, so you don't get crushed and you can continue the progress. So, and one of the main ways we'll work that is uncrushing your CV and GV auras, strengthening them, and some direct work on the meridians themselves. But I think the auras are going to be a big part of it, like unblocking them on much deeper levels than usual. So that's the main gist. There may be other things that get stuck in there. Because like the theme has to do with putting mystical and rational. I'm not totally pleased with that word, putting mystical and rational techniques, knowledge into action, in that like rational, I don't want to imply that mystical knowledge is not rational, like in that it's somehow like irrational or nutty, but rational knowledge, what I meant with that was like logically, that this would help, but you're just not doing it. That XYZ would help your abundance. It's just logical, it's like self-evident, but you're not doing it. Versus like, okay, that for chakra and grounding and chakra work and aura work helps your abundance, so it's like both those things, the things that are like self-evident and sort of more physical plane stuff, like, changing your website or, changing how you do your emails or, whatever, working differently. So there's like two aspects, but today the bulk of it, I think, will be this thing, the whole stepping forward and being able to hold your ground. So there's that. It'll be cool. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Oh, and sort of fun fact, interesting. So I'll put it under the heading of sales, but I hope people don't disregard it just because sales sounds so commercial. That's probably only my own judgment. But so as you guys all, most of you know, not everybody, my website is jwhealing.com. And fun fact, this triplet set actually will be, maybe ever, but at least for the foreseeable future, it'll be the final triplet set where it's like closer together, the healings. you know, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. This Friday healing is the last Friday group energy healing for the foreseeable future, because starting next month with the June triplet, it's Thursday, Sunday, and Wednesday are the healing days for the triplet, so that there'll be 2 days off in between. So it gives you more time to like breathe and, you know, live your life and sort of get a sense of the healing effects and maybe go back and do 1 or 2 techniques from the healing and, you know, that kind of thing. And it gives me a chance to just have a life and rest and recharge and come back to it. So, but we've already changed that with the twins. The twin set healings are on Sunday and wait, what are they on? Oh, I'm forgetting now. They're not on Sunday and Wednesday. When are they? Oh, that's so funny. That's so like me. I will like think up good ideas, but remembering the good ideas that I have thought up is like not my strong suit. All right, so I'm going to look it up. Where am I going? I'm going to my website. There's a menu called Themes, Contact, etc. And then there's a page called Upcoming Themes. And that shows all the themes and dates that are coming up. So the twin set is Thursday and Sunday. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on that. Yeah. So then so the twin sets are Thursday, Sunday now, and then the triplets after this time will be Thursday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday. And I guess now that I have the page up, I can tell you the themes. But the twin set, there's still plenty of spots left for that one. The twin set this month, which is on Thursday the 22nd and Sunday, May 25th. And that I did push back. I'm starting to do that more often too, like pushing the twin sets back a week. So they're better spaced. So if you need a boost like towards the end of the month, you know, that's nice. So that's the May twin set. And then, which will be the same theme, abundance. So if you know people that need abundance help, it's also good for clearing fear and worry because first chakra is abundance, but it's also courage and safety. So if you know people who are worry warts, the abundance theme is really good for that as well. And then June is healing heart fatigue, increasing enthusiasm and motivation. So that's really cute and should be nice. So that's in June, and that's for sale on my website now. But yeah, I mostly wanted to just say, well, I wanted to say the sales stuff, but also say how cool this might be the last Friday group healing. Well, it'll be probably the last Friday triplet set group healing, maybe ever. Who knows? For the foreseeable future. Since the first healings will be on Thursdays now. Okay, enough of that. But it's kind of cool, kind of interesting. But I think everyone will enjoy the bigger gaps in between because a lot of my clients, I mean, they do use these techniques, you know, and so you get time to just heal yourself in between. Anything else I want to say? I don't think I want to say anything else right now. I'll just go to chat comments and then we'll do 3 minutes of quiet and then I will start the healing. And of course, as I heal, except for like the first minute when I'm quiet, I talk out loud and explain what I'm doing as I do it. So it can function as an all levels self-healing walkthrough, and you could heal yourself as you watch, even if you're a motivated newbie or if you're quite advanced, even a pro healer. There should be lots of good, juicy, geeky stuff for you to do in the walkthrough. Okay. Someone says, hi, Janet, with nice little waving emojis. Someone says, we can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Hey, Janet can see and hear you from sunny Petaluma, California, 65 Fahrenheit. Cool theme, yes. I'm looking forward to it. Sunny and 65. That sounds nice. Very springy. Someone says hello from Las Vegas, 85 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Well, that's a little bit warm. It's nice for sitting around. That would be a nice temperature, but for gardening in the sun, that would be a bit much. Someone says we can see and hear you in Chicago, 50 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. How about that? Hey Janet, I can see and hear you from Las Vegas with a little cactus emoji. Hello from Ottawa, Canada, cold and windy. I can see and hear you, and the sound, it is perfect. That's nice. Yeah, I bought an extended. I'm not gonna move the camera because I spent a lot of time on putting that camera there, but I bought a little extender pole so that I can get the mic high enough. All right. So I'm glad it works out. Someone says, hi, Janet. Looking forward to this healing. Last week we sold our house and then I got hospitalized for appendicitis and had surgery 2 days ago. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I had my appendix out. I was in my early 20s. It's very dramatic. At first I thought I was constipated or something, and so I drank like a half a bottle of prune juice. And then I had 2 problems. And then I took a cab to the hospital, fortunately, because somebody told me that you could have years of medical bills just for paying for an ambulance ride to the hospital in the good old US of A. So fortunately, I did take a cab to the hospital way back then. Someone says, hello from Ireland. You spelled it Italand, but I know where you are, so hello to you. It says you have a very nice amaryllis flower. Yes, isn't that nice? And not only that, that's the second bloom stalk. That's its second bloom stalk. It's a real little powerhouse. I'm going to try. I have 2 amaryllis plants, and this is their second year that I've had them. You like put them in hibernation in between times. I'm going to actually put them outside. Hope that works. Like not while they're blooming, but afterwards, you know, when it's just leaves. I'm going to plant them outdoors and see if they survive. Then they'll bloom in just the summers out there. They won't bloom indoors. Which, you know, it was nice for indoor flowers, but if I put them out, then that's one less thing I have to take care of inside. So that's nice. So this is liked and shared with my mom in Westland, Oregon. Well, hello to your mom in Westland, Oregon, and hello to you. Someone says, oof, this step forward and hold groundwork resonates with me. Excited to work this. Yes. This is 65 degrees in sunny Portland here. How about that? Sounds nice. Hello, Janet. Can see and hear you. Hello to you. Las Vegas has over 100 days of over 100-degree weather Fahrenheit. Coming from Oregon, I can relate to you, Janet. Yeah, well, plus my garden is in the front yard, and our front yard is, I wood chip the whole thing, which I need another truckload of wood chips. I need to pay someone to spread them this time. It's a lot of work. But anyway, the wood chips, like they reflect the sunlight or something, so it's like this solar oven out there. It gets really hot out there. Which is fine, the tomatoes and the basil love it, but Janet doesn't always love it. So it says, you look so beautiful today. How about that? And I didn't even pay her to say it. Thank you. That's very nice. I have nice clients. All righty. As I usually say, it's all about good lighting. It's all good lighting. Like, I would say 80% good lighting and 20% good living. Okie dokie. Let's do this. Oh, someone says I have an indoor silk amaryllis that blooms year round. Yes, that's true. That would do it. But then they get dusty, and if you take good care of your silk plant, then that could be nice. I would probably just let it get dusty and disgusting and then throw it out. Alrighty. I do actually have good plant updates for my indoor. I finally got all my indoor seed starting. Pretty much done almost, except beans I have to do in like 2 weeks maybe. Start those indoors. But so at the end I'll have a plant little update, and I'll bring a couple out to show you like the little seedlings. Be cute. Alrighty. So we're actually here for a healing. So we'll do 3 minutes of quiet, and then we'll get that healing going. During the quiet, I'm finishing my prep, and you are enjoying the absence of my voice. Okay, thanks for waiting. Let's do this. So you have big hand chakras, and one in the palm of each hand, and you have fingertip chakras. So that's a lot of potential for generating gold light. And I don't actually have my glitter to show you, but you can imagine metallic gold color without seeing a little bottle of glitter. Here we go. Here's some gold. Our little yoga dog, he's gold, right? So that's metallic gold in case you have a mental block about imagining metallic gold, right? And which is possible. I used to have that when I started out. That those chakras, your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras, to a metallic gold color with your intention. You don't have to be able to imagine or see energy yet to do that. You just do it with your thought. You set them to gold. And that's a vibration and a color, and it's a speed of, yeah, it's a speed of vibration. So gold is good, basically. It's good for healing, unblocking, repairing. It's fast, but not too fast, moving. So use the gold light from one hand to heal the other hand. Heal and unblock the other hand. All chakras generate energy just automatically, but the more unblocked they are, the better they work. You know, it's like tuning up the motor. So just tune up your motors. Right, and you could heal your own hands with a composite copy, but you know, why would you if you're just healing your own hands? Do it this way. That's kind of cool. But either way, it works. But then also your arms and your shoulders, the more present you are in your arms and your shoulders and your hands, it helps with manifesting, because you can't really like, you know, your spirit to be in your physical hands. You got to go through, it's like putting on a shirt, you know, you put your hands through the arms. You put, you know, you put your astral body arm in your physical body arm. So let's unblock the shoulders and the arms. So make a copy out in front of you of your own neck and shoulders and arms, and just use gold light and use gold light to like burn up any hard objects that are stuck, say in your shoulders and the back, maybe, or right here in front of your shoulders. Just melt away all the hard, or you can melt them away or pop them out and have them explode. Any hard objects from other people. And just, you don't want any leaks. You know, energy, you want energy to be able to flow down your shoulders and your arms. And check your wrists. You don't want any like sort of handcuff kind of energy things there. You don't want any restrictions. So just unblock your wrists, melt away any junk around your wrists from other people. Like, for example, we're working abundance today, right? So, well, this whole month. So you may have had a past life where maybe you were, you know, caught for stealing, let's say, right? And so they could have literally put, you know, things around your wrists to imprison you, you know, and carry you away. And the literal things aren't a problem in the next life, but if they put any energy around it at the same time, then that stays with you unless you get rid of it, right? So you could have some kind of a civil, you know, civic social punishment around your wrists for maybe for stealing or you know, whatever you did in a past life. And that's different from like karma punishing you. It's like just a person just got you stuck, right, with their own punishment that would last until you remove it. So go ahead and remove any sort of human punishment things from around your wrists and anywhere in your shoulders and arms. But a lot of times wrists are big for that. So just lift them out. Angels, here you go. You loosen them with gold light and then just lift them out. Angels, here you go. Loosen any human punishments from your wrists. Give to the angels. Angels, here you go. Loosen them up. Angels, here you go. Right? So any human limits on your own abundance. On your shoulders, wrists, and arms, just and hands, just lift them out. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Right, and just be in your shoulders and wrists and arms. Okay, good job. So I take notes as I work because later I need to, put little chapter titles and stuff and write a healing summary. So that's what I'm taking notes. So within a day, this live stream will have nice little chapters that you can jump around to. Okay, so that was unblocking your hands, shoulders, and arms and removing any abundance restrictions from people and, social groups that you may have around your wrists and shoulders and arms. So now we're moving into the 5 essentials part of the healing. I was really surprised the other day, like someone who's been a client of mine for like literal decades. You didn't know what the 5 essentials are or even the 4 essentials. So that's, grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, and then good karma work back here. Those are the 5 essentials. And I name them that way because if you're screwed up, that's what you should work on. Like they're essential. So if they're messed up, you feel messed up. So let's do grounding. So make your grounding nice and big and wide as all your auras. So like if you put your hands out like that, that's probably as wide as your auras if they're nice and full. So make your groundings that big. 2 groundings, one for your physical body energy system, one for your astral body energy system. Make them big and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Make them both the same color, red or orange or yellow. And bring them up high as your 3rd chakra. So your 3rd chakra is beneath your sternum, right here, this bone that goes down right beneath that. That's where your 3rd chakra is. So bring up your groundings that high. Give extra support to your lower chakras. And then make a copy out in front of you of both of your groundings. Having a powerfully downward flowing, unblocked grounding is definitely part of being able to step forward, but holding ground too. If you're just like a big grounded mountain or big grounded redwood tree, harder for someone to chop you down. Right? So just use gold light from your hands and melt away the blocks, wash everybody out of your groundings. You need your own grounding in order to thrive. It can't be like some community mess place, right? So just wash everybody out. Use gold light, get everybody out of your grounding. And grounding is for releasing as well as bringing up earth energy. So you can think about what do you really need to let go of? And just comb through your grounding, comb through the bottom parts of your auras. And just let go. Let go. Maybe you need to let go of some fears. Maybe you need to let go of some drama. Maybe you need to let go of worrying too much about other people. Just wash it down your grounding. Let it melt away fully. Like just hold on to those blocks and melt them away 100%. All right, good enough. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings and use gold light, and you melt away any attachments to other people, any hard objects that are stuck in your, like half in, half out of your grounding. Just melt them all off. Okay, good job. Okay, so we're gonna repair all your auras at once. You have 17 auras, an astral body aura, a physical body aura, and 15 auras, which are Wei Qi auras. So they are big gold flowing force fields of your Wei Qi energy. That's sort of a cousin of traditional Chinese medicine. Wei Qi energy is an official thing in traditional Chinese medicine. But the fact that you have auras of Wei Qi energy is just something that angels explained to me. So let's do it. We'll repair all of them at once. So they're all around you. They occupy the same space. You just don't want them ripped up and leaking. You want them full of your energy and nice and flowing and unblocked. Okay? Like a big spiritual dishwasher that's always going, scrubbing the junk out of your life. Okay? Keeping you protected and strong. So just imagine a copy of all your 17 auras out in front of you, and just use gold light from your hands and wash through all your 17 auras and use your intuition. Even if you can't see, you could still do this with your intuition, or your, you just kind of wing it. But you want to check for rips. They can look like a valley. There should be no valleys. There should be no, missing chunks. So if you find a valley, you can repair it that way and just, clean it out enough so it grows back. But what we're going to do is repair all the rips at once, just because it's a little more time efficient. Well, it's a lot more time efficient. And it's good if you aren't confident at finding them all. So that's composite copy technique. Come on, camera. So composite copy technique is you create an image of a rip, and you say with your intention, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips in my 17 auras. Okay, and then as you repair this rip, you're repairing all the rips in your 17 auras, right? So to repair the rip, you want to clean it out first with sticky gold wax. So that's gold light from your hands, but with your intention, it sticks to everything that's not you and forms a lump. And then you just lift the lump out, all that junk with the sticky gold wax at once, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, fill it up, have the wax stick to invasive people, invasive beings, hard objects that are stuck there, and just lift all that out as a big lump. Angels, here you go. One more time, sticky gold wax, get it really deep in there, have it stick to the hard objects and everything else. Lift it out. Angels, here you go. Okay, so now the gold light should be able to make very good contact with the ripped surfaces. So just use gold light, get it in there as deep as you can into the rip, so that it starts to grow back and repair itself. Okay, so that probably repaired most of your rips, but we'll do now, just for the leftover rips that you have, we'll do another same process. So make a new composite copy and say, okay, well, this represents my leftover ribs that I still have, if I have any, and do the same thing. So sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. You can also say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair process, can you please recycle? And then just gold light as deep as you can get it. Okay, and then you can redo your gold buffer zones. There are 2 of those, one for the astral body aura, one for the physical body aura. They're just gold buffers, these big, thick, flowy gold force fields that you make and you attach to those auras. I do have a video on it. You search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. But anyway, and then those Wei Qi auras, they're filled with gold light, hopefully. And how they're filled with gold light is that they have, like how astral and physical body auras are filled with your energy, is your major chakras along your spine send the energy out to those aura layers. But how your Wei Qi auras are filled with gold light is they have gold mesh spheres. So 3 gold mesh spheres that wrap around you. So there's an inner one, a middle one, and an outermost one for each of those 15 Wei Qi auras. So that's a lot of gold mesh spheres, 45, right? 3 times 5, 15. But just repair them all at once. So you imagine a copy out in front of you of all your gold mesh spheres, and you just don't want them ripped up. You don't want them dirty. So just imagine any ripped areas and use lots of gold light. And you can say to angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, could you please recycle them? Okay, good job. So we will do more with 2 of those Wei Qi auras in the step forward, hold your ground part once we get the 5 essentials done. But you can't skip over the 5 essentials because otherwise you're kind of screwed, potentially. So let's see. So creative rings are a part of your astral body energy system. So they come and go with you as a spirit. So like when you go to sleep at night, they go with you to the astral with your angels. But anyway, so they're above here, 1, 2, 3 gold rings. And you just make a copy out in front of you of your creative rings and repair them and unblock them. You really want your 7th chakra energy to be able to go through them very easily without having to go through a lot of junky baggage and people's energy. And same thing, you want to bring in new energy into your 7th chakra from above without having to have it blocked and have to detour and all sorts of weird feeling stuff, right? So just imagine your 3 gold creative rings and you want to melt cords from other people that could be going into these rings and repair. Somebody in their post-healing survey later, they had felt very weepy one day, and low blood sugar can do that to people, but also damage to chakras can make you feel like you want to cry, and or damage to your creative rings and or blocked grounding. So creative rings, don't want them to be cracked or broken because it can feel shitty. So just gold light, wash them out, let them repair. And you can have little clampy devices on them that are blocking them from being properly repaired. So you can move out any devices that are on your creative rings. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And then do more repair. And that's true for chakras too. It's just you remove the hard stuff first and then the repair works better. You can have hard objects on your creative rings if, say, you had a partner who was restrictive in some way, maybe just subconsciously, they didn't mean to consciously. But sometimes, in a relationship, different people are stuck in different ways. And, it may still be a partnership you want to maintain, but you don't need to be, kind of smushed along the way, right? So, or sometimes, the relationship wasn't good enough to keep. And so you got rid of them, but you still have this junk on your creative rings. So either way, keeping junk on your creative rings is no good. So just remove allow to let go and melt away any devices from former partners or present partners on your creative rings, or former teachers or present teachers on your creative rings. Work colleagues, family members, religious and social groups, past life people. Pop out all those hard objects or move them, lift them up and melt them away, lift them up, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Lift them up. Angels, can you help me with these? You could have invasive beings hooked into those devices, or just trying to cord your creative rings. And so you can imagine them like a bunch of busybody clouds. And just say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Deep breath while your angels do that. So your creative rings and your chakras, the round openings of your chakras, have flaps. And you want the flaps to be shut, because then your energy still goes through the chakra or the creative ring, but it's harder for other people to cord you. So this is a picture of one of your creative rings, any one of your creative rings, when the flaps are open in an irritated state, right? And so you don't want it to look like this, but if you have pairs of cords going in, sending energy that's not yours, it's like it just irritates them and the flaps puff out like that. So once you remove all the cords and repair enough, then the flaps will fall shut. So it'll be a nice smooth gold outer surface. So let's do that. Melt the cords enough so that you get that smooth outer surface. You could have little hard objects like jammed in the flaps. So like jammed in one of the open flaps, just like bam, 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 just like right there, just keeping that flap open. So you can lift out any hard objects that are keeping the flaps open and melt them away or blow them up. Lift out those hard objects that are keeping the flaps open, melt them away or blow them up. You can comb upward above your creative rings, because sometimes you have stuff above your creative rings that's making it easy for invasive energy to hook into the energy block and then send it further down inward. So unblock above your creative rings, melt those blocks. That can make your creative rings safer. Because flowy aura is a protection. Stuck aura with energy blocks is not a protection. It's like an invitation to invasive energy. Cord and send energy in, right? So your creative rings, and then above there, your aura is basically above here. Just find those energy blocks that are making your aura less protective and melt them away. Deep breath. You can bring a purple grounding up just for your 7th chakra and your creative ring. So you can imagine your 7 chakras. Your 7 chakras are oriented this way, like round opening at the bottom, round opening at the top. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way, round opening in the front and the back. So like open cylinders orientation. 7th, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyway, just imagine your 6 chakras and your creative rings. You can bring a purple grounding up just for your 7th and your creative rings. Both 7th chakras, astral and physical, and then your creative rings. Just soak them in purple earth energy. All right, good job. So that was a little bit extra time that we did on the creative rings. Hopefully, for you. So chakras. So I talked to one person that gets healings, but I don't think they listen to these live streams. They didn't know that chakras could get damaged. So yes, chakras can get damaged. It's a thing. For sure a thing. But the good news is that you can repair them. So this is the basic chakra shape, and we're going to repair and unblock all your major and minor chakras at the same time because we can, and it's quick that way. So sometimes, though, 1 or 2 might not repair fully, so then you could double check, like, okay, well, double check each major chakra after that if you feel like maybe 1 or 2 didn't get fixed properly, and then you can do those individually, but we'll do them all at once. So you make a copy out in front of you of, and you have it represent all your major and minor chakras. So that includes your acupuncture chakras, all those cool little acupuncture points. Those are, I would call minor chakras just because they're not the 7 astral or 7 physical along your spine. You have all sorts of chakras around your joints. It's cool stuff. So pair and unblock them all at once. And there are flaps around the round openings, just like that, just like with the creative rings. So you want those flaps to fall shut, to relax and fall shut, because you're going to melt the cords away and unblock enough and repair enough. So then the chakra's like at ease and the flaps shut. So then your energy flows through, but it's harder for people to cord you. You can think about relaxing and letting go. I can let go. You can release group anxiety, conflict energy, like political or economic anxiety from your chakras as you're working them. Wash it all out. You can have political awareness without political anxiety. Sometimes you need to be like, okay, I'm not watching that video. But, I'm just saying you can find a level of political awareness, but still, clear your anxiety. Clear your economic anxiety, clear your political anxiety. So just wash it out of your chakras. Largely, it's first chakra, but it can be other chakras too. So wash it out while we're repairing and unblocking all chakras. Melt cords. You can comb through them, like just have your energy hand go through this copy of the chakra and scoop out the blocks, and then just melt them in your hands or blow them up. Just scoop through both ends. You know, all the way from the middle outward. Just grab all that junk. You give to your angels. Angels, here you go. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. Just saying that won't fix every invasive being issue that you have, but you know, whenever you notice that as you're working, you can keep asking, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? Lift out the blocks, melt them away. And your intention, healthy and gentle. You want to do repair and unblock, let go as much as is healthy and gentle to do right now. So just melt away all the junk, or lift it out and blow it up. Or lift it out and give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? Check to see if those flaps are relaxed. Nice smooth round opening without the flaps sticking open. You can have devices stuck in the round openings that are irritating the flaps, like hard, maybe like a cross-shaped device or an X-shaped device that's hard. So just grab out the hard devices that are irritating your chakras. Grab out the hard devices. You can melt them up with gold light. Grab them out. Melt them away with gold light. Grab them out. Melt them away with gold light. Or you can hand them to your angels. Grab them out. Angels, here you go. Grab them out. Angels, here you go. All right, good enough. We're going to stick clear STEBs in here, even though technically it's not one of the 5 essentials. So stubborn triggered energy blocks. If they're triggered, they're typically going to be in the front of your auras somewhere. But you can put copies out in front of you of any energy blocks that are triggered, anything that's making you uncomfortable on any level, subconsciously, consciously, whatever. Just stack up the energy blocks out in front of you, copies of the energy blocks. And then you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then you can bring up red earth energy and soak all these energy blocks. You can say, angels, if any of this is not healthy and gentle to clear right now, can you please, edit my piles for me? So then anything still in front of you is healthy and gentle to clear, and wash everybody out of these piles. You know, especially your backlash people, anyone that whacks you, typically make sure they're out of the piles. Wash them out. Lots of gold light, melt away cords going into them from yourself and other people. And wash your resistance out of the blocks and just keep melting the blocks or blow them all up at this point. If you have any left over, you can wrap them up in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Okay, so the 5th essential is good karma windows. They're in the back here, and also base of skull points are the acupuncture points in the base of your skull. So we'll just bounce around and do both those things. So good karma windows, they are a part of your astral body energy system. So a part of you is a spirit. They come and go with you. You fall asleep and you pick it back up. But they're back here, and they're one of those, key places where when they're repaired and flowing, they're a good thing. And if they're damaged, it can be a place where invasive energy gets in and you feel more overwhelmed and less focused. So we don't want that, right? We want focus and presence. So they look like triple frame windows. I don't know if in this journal I have a drawing of them. I'll make a new drawing. I'm sure it'll be delightful. Okay, so this one I drew is red, which would be a good color for your first chakra at the base of your spine, and therefore your energy flowing through your first layer would be red. So your first layer good karma window back there would also be red. So this is a drawing of that first chakra good karma window, and they all look like that, but different colors back there, just the color of your energy in each ore layer. So the angels say this drawing is not terrible. So there you have it. A not terrible drawing of your good karma window. One of your good karma windows. So imagine all 7 out in front of you. So they're back here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? And back in your directly behind the base of your skull. So just use lots of gold light and melt away anything that's not you there. So it can just feel like a tangle of like ropes and lint and junk. It's just, it shouldn't feel that way, but it can if you have a lot of junk there. So just use gold fire, gold water, whatever it takes. Clear everything out that's not you. And one thing that's kind of fun is, if you're being assertive, you're doing a good job, there are going to be invasive beings that just like move out of the area like, whoa, what's she doing? But they don't move out forever. They move out and kind of watch and wait for their little opportunity to come back. So it's fun to just watch and imagine the beings that moved out, and then just say, angels, can you recycle any of those invasive beings that moved out? And then say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are still in this area? So again, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that just moved out? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are still in a good karma windows area? Angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. So you can like freeze them, and just, and they might be sort of anchored into your major chakras or your base of skull points. So just freeze them, get the rest of it. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. You can make an extra grounding for your base of skull points, like a red grounding all the way from the core of the earth all the way up to the base of your skull. To just soak the base of your skull area with red earth energy. So that could also include that area of your astral body, head as well. So not just this area of your physical body, but also this area of your astral body. And just comb through the base of skull area and grab out anything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. And just blow it all up. If there are any invasive beings in there, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in here? So grab all that junk out. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? And then you can melt cords from people, get everybody out. And then the energy blocks at that point should just melt away, but you can blow them up. You want less and less pressure. Cameras don't like it when you move closer and further away. Come on. There we go. Now if I just don't move, it'll be fine. Anyway, comb through your base of skull area. Let's show the base of skull points. How about that? So, base of skull points, I mean, you could repair and unblock anyone that you see in the diagram right there. That certainly wouldn't be a waste of your time. But I'm going to focus mainly on those two rows, those two horizontal rows, one at the level of the top of your earlobe and one at the level of the bottom of your earlobe. Yeah, just get those repaired and unblocked. And those parts of those meridians repaired and unblocked. So the midline one, that's GV, governing vessel, meridian, that I talked about in the intro discussion. Helps to regulate your yang meridians. Helps to manage your yang meridians. So all these, and the yellow is urinary bladder meridian, which is super cool. Lots of fun points for the urinary bladder meridian. But on an energy level, they're not, you don't want them to be gray and yellow and green. You want them to be red and flowing, like the color of the life force, the color of the meridian on an energy level. But just use gold light, wash everything out that's not you. Unblock these little chakras so they can properly. So these, unlike the 7 major chakras along your spine, these chakras don't send energy outward. They just send energy along the meridian in whatever direction of flow that meridian has. So you don't want these meridians to leak. You want to just have, so just use red, gold light, and just, you could use red earth energy too if you want. Bring up red earth energy for any of your body meridians. So these are traditional Chinese medicine meridians that are shown in the diagram. The the gallbladder meridian is that blue-green one that goes down the head there through the base of skull area as well. So comb through these points and outward into the auras, gather up all the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. So angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then just wash everybody out of those blocks, melt the cords from other people and you into those blocks so that the blocks melt fully, or you can just blow them up. You can double check your good karma windows again. You want to make sure that invasive energy can't get through any of them. So you can just intuitively check, you know, again, your good karma windows, there are these triple frame windows, and the 7th one, you could start with that one. That's probably the most critical for boundaries because it's the outermost one. So it's sort of like the first line of defense for external energy. So just intuitively you want your good energy, like positive change energy, new energy of yours to come through, but not invasive energy from invasive beings. So use your intuition and check each of the windows. You know, can you bring your good stuff through, and can invasive energy not come through? Is it safe? Got good boundaries. 6, good karma window, check that one. Maybe there are like little cracks along the frame part. And so then that allows invasive energy to get through. So, you know, there could be like a little crack or two right there and right there. You know, so you just find those little cracks and repair them. Fifth, good karma window. Repair any cracks. And again, if invasive beings move out, say, angels, can you recycle those beings? And then if any invasive beings are still in the way, just say, angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? Fourth, good karma window, double check that. If it's damaged, go ahead and repair it. Are there any invasive beings just giving you a hard time as you're doing this? You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this process? Third, good karma window. Give it extra repair. Are any cracks? Second, good karma window. So that's closer to the base of your skull, right? In your second layer of your astral body. And if your second chakra is set to orange, then your energy in your second layer is orange. And then this window would be orange, unless it's all black and crusty with junk. So just melt away all the junk. Repair the damage if you have any. Pop out any hard objects. First, good karma window. That's the one closest to your base of skull. First chakra, first layer is abundance. So this would be an extra good one for abundance. So repair any damage. Sometimes if you are in a helping profession or you're just kind of a giver, you know, you may have taken on other people's fears or other people's financial burden energy here in your first chakra, in your first layer of good karma window. So just melt all that off. So it's just your red, flowy, safe place. All righty. Good job, good job, good job. So that was extra repair. And part of it was for abundance, but also for everything. Okay, good job, good job. Woohoo! All right, so that concludes the 5 essentials. So now let's get to this whole step forward, hold ground thing. Talking about. So as I said in the intro discussion, which will be its own little chapter, so you can go back to it easily if you want. It's an oversimplification, but still a useful one, I think. That stepping forward would be your GV, energy governing vessel, all your young meridians that are managed by the GV meridian. And then holding your ground would be CV meridian related, yin, your yin energy, your nurturing, your ability to be steady and, you know, constant. So again, it's a little oversimplification, but it's good enough. We're going to work it that way. So, your GV meridian, like I said, it's like a candy cane. It starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the back, and arches over and ends in the roof of the mouth. That's the GV meridian. So let's do that one first. That's stepping forward. You want to be able to have them both equally strong. So you can step forward and then hold your ground and not get crushed. So then you can step forward again and hold your ground and not get crushed. So check out that whole GV meridian route, governing vessel meridian, up the midline of the back, managing your yang energy, self-assertiveness, and step forward with new change, new progress. So you can use gold fire, you can use red earth energy, bring that up, and just repair and unblock this GV meridian for yourself, and also your auras around it. Especially your GV meridian aura. So you have a Wei-Chi aura just for your GV meridian, and it goes all around you. It's a big gold force field. So you have 15 of those gold force fields, but just intuitively pick the one that is for the GV meridian. And so it goes all around you, and just give that one extra healing and unblocking. And again, if you have a helping profession, or you're just kind of that kind of person that you think of others a lot and what they're going through, it's really possible that you have copies of other people's hardships and burdens in your auras. So in this case, we're working the GV meridian Wei-Chi aura. You could have copies of other people's burdens in here. Just melt them away. It doesn't help other people to keep a copy of their burden. There are plenty of ways to show someone that you understand where they're coming from, like to empathize without just screwing yourself. So just, it's possible though, especially if you're somewhat strong, you can do a lot of unhealthy things and still survive. So you might be surprised at how much copies of other people's burdens you're actually carrying every day. So just wash out copies of other people's burdens in your GV meridian Wei-Chi aura. Wash out people's restrictions, people's rules from your GV meridian Wei-Chi aura, just anything, any hardness, melt it away. The 3 gold mesh spheres of that GV meridian Wei-Chi aura, you want to make sure they're doing their job to generate a lot of gold light that gets sent inward to the GV meridian. Okay, and then we will do the same thing with the CV meridian. So, so that was just the GV meridian one. So then now we'll do the CV meridian one. So the CV meridian one goes up the midline of the front, starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the front, ends in the tip of the tongue. So imagine that meridian, and it should be a red flowy tube. Both of these, the direction of flow is upward. So you can bring up red earth energy and soak this meridian with red earth energy. You can use gold light too. And the natural vibration of this meridian and any of these meridians of your body would be red, the ideal vibration. So melt the blocks in your CV meridian. So this one and all the yin meridians can help you to nurture and maintain. So to hold your ground once you step forward. So having this as strong as you can get it helps you hold your ground. So you can imagine the Wei Qi aura that the one of the 15 that is for your CV meridian. And so it's a gold force field all around you, and unburden that one. You know, just melt away everybody else's burdens from there. Maybe someone piled up some restrictions in here, some rules, some criticism. Melt it all out of your CV meridian Wei Qi aura, because you want to be able to have this really strong energy. You make this strong, it's going to help make all your yin meridians stronger. So you'll be able to hold your ground better. So your like I said, your CV meridian Wei Qi aura goes all around you, including above you. So you want to have a very flowy, unrestricted feeling up here. You don't want to feel like, you know, you have this sort of prison ceiling above you. Right? So just melt away any junk in this CV meridian Wei Qi aura around your head, behind your head, above your head. So even though the CV meridian is in front, the Wei Qi aura goes all around you for each of all the Wei Qi auras. So you want strong, good, unblocked flow all around this CV meridian Wei Qi aura. You want to be able to enjoy your progress, right? You don't want to be flattened by backlash or whatever, right? So just strengthen this CV meridian energy. And you could have invasive beings in the way. You can just say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings in messing with my CV meridian or CV meridian Wei Qi aura or GV meridian or GV meridian Wei Qi aura. And a couple deep breaths while your angels do that. And you could have, especially if you grew up with somebody who is not so stable, or somebody that you care about now in your life is not very stable, you could have maybe accidentally like sort of dedicated your yin energy, your nurturing, steady energy to somebody else. So there could be, you know, maybe a parent or a partner or a significant friend or something. Their energy could be all over this Wei Qi aura, and it doesn't help them. No, it doesn't help them. Does it help you? It totally screws you. So wash everybody out, especially, you know, if you notice like there's a key person in this CV meridian Wei Qi aura. Wash them out. It's not going to help them at all. It's going to get in their way to be here, and it's going to get in your way. So just wash any key people out of your CV meridian Wei Qi aura. Sometimes you might have people that you want the best for them, and they're especially nice. And so you may be keeping them in your CV meridian Wei Qi aura just because you feel like, oh, they're so cute and nice, you know. But that can be really debilitating. They don't belong there. So let them be in their own CV meridian Wei Qi aura. They'll be way better off that way. So if they're in yours, they're less in their own, right? So just wash everybody out. Say, hey, your angels can help you go find your body. Go take a deep breath. So wash everybody out, even the nice people, out of your CV meridian Wei Qi aura. And unblock your grounding. Nice big wide groundings for both physical body and astral body energy systems. Ah. So that idea of so we're going to go back to both the concepts again. So you can measure the strength of each one. So this is still, the stepping forward and the holding ground, but you can measure and compare both of those. To see if they're both strong enough, right? Because say the step forward strength that you have is like you take this step forward that's like 5 feet forward, like boom, right? But then your hold ground strength is only for like 2 feet forward. So that means you're going to have a back sliding effect of like 3 steps, right? Or 3 feet, right? So you want to be able to, so then okay, well, I need to strengthen my CV energy, my holding ground energy, so that when I step forward 5 feet, I'll be able to stay there and enjoy that feeling, right? And then maybe do it again, right? So compare your step forward energy, how strong. You can compare it like a bar chart or however you want, measure it in flowers, measure it however you want. But how strong is your stepping forward energy and how strong is your holding ground energy? You can imagine them like 2 mountains. So that can tell you, well, which one do you have to strengthen more? Or maybe you have to strengthen both of them a lot more, which is possible. So you could go ahead and imagine them like mountains if you want. Yeah, that's nice. We could do that. So if you imagine them as mountains, so you have, or a mountain range, and so you have an image of the mountain range that represents your strength of being able to step forward, and then a mountain or mountain range representing your strength for holding your ground. And how do they look? Do they look similar? And if there's a significant difference, then that's going to be it's not going to be as comfortable or as efficient for you, right? So just heal both your mountain ranges, your stepping forward mountain range and your holding your ground mountain range, right? And get everybody out of your mountains. Right? If you have clouds over your mountains, you can say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And if one mountain range is clearly not strong enough, but the other one is fine, you can just, focus on the one that's not strong enough. And there may be, again, like people's burdens or limitations within the mountains. So you can just comb through the mountains, lift out everybody else's junk. Angels, here you go. Comb through the mountains, lift out other people's junk. Angels, here you go. Let's see if that made a difference to your mountains. Grief can be affecting your mountains, the strength of your step forward energy and your holding ground energy. So you can go ahead and melt the grief out, or you can lift the grief out of your mountain ranges and then melt it when it's separate like that, or blow it up. So lift out your grief baggage and melt it with gold light. You can say, angels, if you have any if there are any invasive beings messing with my step forward strength or my holding ground strength, can you please recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. Maybe have a healthy beverage. And as you're looking at as mountains, you can have people's punishment energy. Like I said before, maybe, you know, in a past life, you got in trouble for stealing, or you got in trouble just because your political views were not the same as somebody else's. But, you know, so you can have like a human's punishment energy. So not like karma and angels sort of making you pay off karma, but just people screwing you over because of some reason. You know, maybe they had a good reason, whatever, but you don't have to keep it anymore. Karma will keep track of if you need to do something or learn or, you know, have a hardship. That's different. This is just human junk, human punishment on your mountains. So lift off the human punishment off of your mountains and you can melt it with gold light. Or blow it up, lift off any human punishment or limitations off of your mountains, of your stepping forward and holding ground mountains, and just lift the punishment off from humans and melt it away with lots of gold light. Lift off any punishment from humans off your mountains, melt it away with gold light. All right, so now you can compare your mountains, see if your stepping forward strength is equal or comparable to your holding ground strength. And again, you don't have to be perfect overnight. It's just, you know, is it more towards where you need to go? That's the goal, is baby step improvement. All right, cool. Good job. Alrighty, so this I thought might be nice as a little abundance concept. To see lots and lots and lots and lots of flowers. Maybe that helps. So these are rhododendrons, which are the state flower, I believe, of Washington State, where I live. And this image, I think we took at the state capitol, which is, we live in the capital state, the capital of Washington State, and the literal capitol grounds is pretty close to us. So anyway, there you go. So maybe this image of lots and lots and lots and lots of flowers evokes abundance for you. Maybe not, but hopefully. Let's see. So I'm going to look for a second and see what exactly we're going to do next for abundance. Okay, so I was looking at a couple sample people, and you can have, hopes and dreams and goals, and that's generally a really positive thing. And they could be directly abundance related, or some other flavor of dreams and goals. But they could be taken from you by people. Like maybe somebody's jealous or envious. Um, and a lot of times it's not something they're doing consciously. They can't. It's they don't mean to harm you in any way. It's just they see what you're doing, or they see something about your energy, and it just triggers something in them, and they just kind of borrow it and not give it back. So, or you could have someone who's, genuinely malicious in nature, and so subconsciously they just take it to harm you, to limit you. But we don't have to worry if it's just nice, envious people or mean people. We don't really have time to sort all that out and care. Karma takes care of whatever. So, but the idea is you can call it back really easily, but then it's really good to update your goals and your dreams, because you may have had an abundance goal 10 years ago or 20 years ago that really means nothing to you now, or it's just different. You want different things, you need different things even than you used to. So it's a two-step thing we're going to do. We're going to call back any goals and dreams and hopes that you had that got taken for some reason. You may have left them behind, but that's less typical. But anyway, we're going to call those back, and then we're going to update them, clean them out, update them, because some of them are totally useless to you now, or they just can convert into something different, slightly updated for you. Okay? So let's do it. Doing. All right. So calling back is so easy. You stay here, stay present, but you can make a gold 3D object of any shape you want. You can even make it the shape of, a flower, a bunch of rhododendron flowers that's gold, whatever, or a gold sphere or cube, whatever, pyramid, whatever floats your boat. And just use it like a magnet and call back all your hopes and dreams that are no longer with you. Just call them back into the object, into your magnet. And you can make the magnet get bigger and bigger and bigger as it absorbs all your stuff that it's calling back. And so just keep calling back all your hopes and dreams and goals. And they can be abundance related and or just general, love life, hopes and dreams and goals, or any kind of love life, any kind of hopes and dreams and goals. Call them all back. And then just let the gold of the object kind of start to clean out these hopes and dreams and goals. And then you can also say, angels, can you clean all this off for me? Just in case. Make sure you didn't bring back anything that wasn't you. Okay, so that's all cleaned off. And now we want to update for sure, because some of it is just, you just don't care about it anymore. It doesn't align with your purpose anymore. So just, wash it out. You can even like dump it into a big gold basin of gold light and just, really give it a really good soak so that the gold light permeates it and you're updating. You can say too, angels, help me to update my goals and dreams and hopes for abundance and for everything. Right? And then you can lift out, if it's still that same shape or if it's a different shape, and you can say, angels, can you double check it? And then you can give it back to yourself. Okay, so we called it back and we washed it off and updated it, and the angels checked it 2 different times. Okay, so let's do that one more time. You can blow up that basin. We'll make a new one. So make a 3D object. You can make a different shape than you had before. Whatever you want your magnet to look like, and just have it call back all your hopes and dreams and goals that maybe you left behind in the past, or maybe, someone took. Just call them all back into your gold magnet. Let the gold magnet start scrubbing all of it off. And you can say to angels, can you clean off all this so it's just clean off anything that's not me. And then make your big gold basin of gold water, gold light, and just dunk your magnet in there and just scrub off, let the gold light permeate all the goals and dreams and hopes and wash it really thoroughly so that, you're updating. You can say, angels, help me to update this. So then you don't have to overthink it, but just let these hopes and dreams and goals transform so that it really matches what you need now. Right? And then you can lift it out, see if it's still the same shape or if it's different shape, and say, angels, can you double check this again for me? And then give it to yourself. And take a couple deep breaths. You can imagine we'll do a little quick chakra alignment. Just imagine your 7 astral body chakras and your 7 physical body chakras. They're along your spine. 7 is oriented this way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 oriented this way with round opening in the front and the back. And just line them up. Just use gold light. Let them click into place so that they are aligned with each other. Get the 7th first and 6, 5, 4. Just unblock and use enough gold light so they click into place. 3, 2. You can do like a tricolor soak just for your major chakras, which at one point I called it chakra love. I have a tricolor earth energy soak, which was everything you're soaking. So this is just your major chakras. So bring up red earth energy, soak all your major chakras with red earth energy. Bring that down, soak all your major chakras with orange earth energy. Bring that down, soak all your major chakras with yellow earth energy straight from the core of the earth. And you can bring that back down just to the level of your 3rd chakra if you want. And unblock both your groundings, make them nice and wide as all your auras. Both the same color, red or orange or yellow. Good job. All right, so I'm going to look and see what we should do next. Okay, So I was looking at one of the sample people the angels picked out for me to look at, and this person is very capable, like really most of the people I'm working with. And but her abundance is being held back. And a big part of it is her own grief. Like it's like self-repression. Which, is funny how common that is. That you could be holding yourself back. Like even if you really want more abundance, you could still subconsciously, part of you, be holding yourself back. And in her case, it was grief. So a lot of times when people grieve, they stop a lot. Like, okay, well, I'm grieving, so I'm not going to go to work, or I'm grieving, so I'm not going to, do this or that or whatever, right? And in some cultures, maybe in a past life, you might have had a lot of like a very long mourning period, and maybe the community, brings you food during your mourning period, so you don't really have to, you know, earn food and everything during that time. But some cultures, maybe, there's a year mourning or 2 years or whatever. And the thing is, um, it could be that you weren't very good at coming out of mourning. And I think that's really common, where people know how to feel grief. They don't know how to stop feeling grief. Yeah, they try to just repress it and shove it down, but that's not really clearing it. Clearing it is melting the blocks that are the grief, right? So you can melt grief. You can really fully melt it. It's just that there's so much of it from so many past lives, and there's so many leftover parts that weren't gotten rid of with grief, that you might think you can never lessen or get rid of your grief, but you actually can. It's just, there's a backlog usually. So one way you could imagine it is like that you're in a prison, and the bars, so you're in a prison cell, little individual size prison cell. And it's your grief, and you're imagining the grief that's holding you back from being more abundant, from stepping forward and holding your ground, and stepping forward and holding your ground, and having your abundance, right? And so imagine if don't put yourself in a grief prison if you're not in one, but if you have subconscious grief or other people's grief in your space, or conscious grief in your space, that is holding back you from a lot of things, including abundance. You could imagine it like, prison bars around you, and then melt the prison bars with gold light, or you can just loosen the whole thing up, even the floor of the prison cell, and just lift it all out. So you're still standing, but the prison cell around you is no longer there. And you could just hand it to your angels, say, angels, help me with this. But I think the angels prefer that you just lift it. You could lift it out, but then just fully blow it up or melt it yourself. So lift out the prison cell of grief in your space and melt it away fully, or blow it up. So, and you can keep imagining more of them, because you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do at one time. But it doesn't mean that once you do one and then you take a deep breath and maybe you could do another. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to wait till tomorrow to do more. Just keep checking your intuition. Is there another one I could do right now? Maybe comb through your grounding, comb through all your chakras, do a little quick alignment of your chakras. And then maybe you're ready to do another, melt another grief prison cell from around you. So look to see, imagine yourself, and imagine, any grief that you do have around you. And it could be your grief, it could be other people's grief from this or past lives. And, any that's holding back your abundance, or really anything, any part of you. And just, use gold light and loosen up the prison floor, the prison bars, the prison ceiling, and just lift all that grief out and melt it away. Or you can melt it away in place if you want to. Whatever's more fun. All right, and then let's do some flower healing for abundance. So you can move your hands like I love to do when you make your energy healing flowers for yourself, or you could just create them out in front of you without any sort of physical hand movements, which could be a plus if you're like, in a park or something and you don't want to go like that, But anyway, use universal healing energy, rainbow colors or gold or both, and just make a lot of energy healing flowers for yourself. Tune them with your intuition, your intention, tune them to the vibration that will heal your abundance. And also, you're manifesting, help you to step forward and hold your ground, all that good stuff. So make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for yourself. And then say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. So once again, we'll do it one more time. So make as many energy healing flowers as you need to help you with your abundance. You're feeling safe. You're feeling courageous. To help you step forward and hold your ground. Help you manifest abundance. And say, angels, can you double check my flowers for me? And give them to yourself. Okay. So we're gonna wrap up. So just imagine yourself out in front of you, all your auras, your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside there, your groundings, connecting you to the core of the earth. Use gold light from your hands, wash everybody out of your space, even in the back of your aura, even in the back of your grounding. You want a strong downward flow. You can remind yourself it's okay to let go. It's okay to heal. It's okay to repair. So again, stubborn triggered energy blocks. Let's do this one more time. So make piles out in front of you of any energy blocks that you have that are triggered anywhere in your space. So anything that's kind of making you jumpy or antsy or irritated or pissed off or whatever, feeling not good enough, pile all that out in front of you. The angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? That way your angels will edit the piles. And then angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into any of this stuff, can you recycle them, please? And then just wash everybody out of these piles. Gold light, melt cords from other people, melt cords from yourself. And you can blow up all the blocks or melt them fully with gold light from your hands. One more time really quickly, put out in front of you copies of any STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks. Angels, can you check my piles? Angels, can you recycle invasive beings? Wash everybody out, melt cords, blow up the blocks or fully melt them. All right, you're a rock star. So abundance baggage could be also like feeling that you're not good enough or you don't deserve abundance or, you're not good enough or, whatever. You didn't do something, you didn't make somebody happy, so you don't deserve blah, 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 whatever. Right? So any baggage that says It's blocking you from abundance that you have, like feelings of inadequacy, guilt, whatever, right? So put all that out in front of you. The angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then just the angels, could you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then go ahead and melt it all or blow it up. So again, put out in front of you any abundance baggage that you have, anything that holds you back on any level from manifesting and holding your abundance. So stepping forward and holding ground. So put all that baggage, abundance baggage out in front of you. And so angels, is this healthy and gentle to clear right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then blow it all up. Melt cords from people going into all this junk. Blow it up or melt it fully with cold light. Unblock above your head, unblock above the top of your auras, unblock above your shoulders, unblock in the front of your aura and the back of your auras. You want to be able to receive new energy of yours. Unblock enough so that your new energy can come in, your new abundance, new strength. All right, so as we wrap up, you can ask your angels, angels, can you please help me with abundance? Angels, can you please help me with stepping forward and holding my ground? All right, good job, good job. You're amazing. Woohoo! Woohoo! Should we do butterflies? Here we go. That's not bad. I like that. A little busy, but it's cool. All righty. So now we'll do a bathroom break, and then I will come back and we'll do a stretch break. The stretching is not guided, so you could just... But it's a moment to do stretching if you wish. So we will do the bathroom break first. And I will get rid of the camera so you don't have to look at an empty chair. That's a little odd. But the flowers are nice. There we go. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm just gonna do stretching for a minute, and you could too if you want. Just whatever stretches are gentle and good for you. And then I'll do 30-minute chit chat, validation of your self assessments. If you want to state some issue that you have, energy issue, and what you think is going on in your space about that, like chakras, auras wise, and what you feel that you could do about it meditation wise. And then I would just double check your assessment. Or if you just want to comment about the theme or something I said, or say how you're feeling after the healing. But I'm going to stretch for a minute, and you're welcome to do the same. Alrighty. I hope that was a good break for you. Let's see. Let's change our image. Something else. Bring back the kittens. Cute little kittens. So cute. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. Because otherwise I have no sense of time. All right. So, what do people have to say? See what comments I haven't read yet. Somebody says hi, hello to you. Somebody gives me little healing hands. I think that's what that is. They like the yoga dog. Yes, my little yoga dog. I got it on wayfair.com. I laugh because they used to advertise all the time on this real estate show that we used to watch. Wayfair.com. I was like, oh my God, make it stop. So many times they brainwashed us with that website name. Smith says, hi, Janet. I've been experiencing more physical symptoms, feeling very off in my body. Not sure how much is directly just my body or how much is psychiatric and related to my energy. It's really hard to think clearly these days. When I intuit, it's a combo of the three, but most is related to physical body. Do my angels have any guidance as to how I can help myself moving forward? My energy safety plan is okay, but frequently I feel like fainting and dizzy when things are bad. So I try to ask my angels to help me out. Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I'm assuming that you have gotten like a Western medicine sort of physical workup, like blood tests, etc., to make sure there's not something, that Western medicine can tinker with. I mean, in a good way, like a deficiency of something that you could supplement for, or some kind of a gland issue or something. I'm not a medical intuitive, but I just wanted to double check though, because I mean, those are pretty significant physical symptoms, stuff that's not typically like a meditation only kind of a situation. I mean, at least, maybe traditional Chinese medicine. But ideally, if you had, you might have to combine practitioners, but, a Western plus an Eastern medicine practitioner, just to explore that. Because I think, I know you've done psychiatric medication type stuff, but those seem like, that's beyond the world of psychiatry, is what I would intuitively say, and beyond just the world of meditation. I think you've made really good strides with your ability to meditate and balance yourself that way. But if you have some kind of a gland issue or some kind of real physical issue, it'd be good to get Western and Eastern medicine up to bat for you as well. So I'm wondering, it could be that you've explored that to your satisfaction, but I'm curious about that. It does seem like your angels are nudging in that direction to get some more physical practitioner type assistance, like blood tests, Western medicine, plus Eastern, acupuncture stuff. As far as meditation stuff in the meantime as well, that you can do because it's free, and while you're waiting for an appointment for some physical practitioner, maybe chakra filaments could be something you could work a little more, because I think you're pretty decent at chakra repair these days, like, meaning you do need it sometimes, but then you do it and you do it effectively. So, but maybe just unblock the chakra filaments between astral and physical better, so you can click in a little better. Maybe chakra fit, that it's a unblocking where you specifically unblock, mostly the physical major chakras so that the astral fits in better, but you can unblock both of them just so they fit in better, because it does look like you're not fitting in quite right. But there can be physical conditions that affect you fitting in, and maybe some of them are, treatable. And so that's what I'm wondering about. But in the meantime, while you're also investigating that stuff, you could work chakra fit, unblock both astral and physical, 7 astral and 7 physical, enough so that you fit in, and anything in the way of you fitting in well. And maybe your legs a little more, like gold bottle brush for your legs more. If you search Janet Wright gold bottle brush legs, there should be a couple walkthroughs on that, but you don't really need a walkthrough either. You just, gold, like a nice long gold bottle brush that you can thread through your leg and get all the junk and give it to your angels, and do it on both legs and keep doing it. Sometimes dizziness can be creative ring damage or damage to the back here, like good karma windows and, base of skull points, that kind of thing, maybe some upper chakras. So maybe like, you know, base of skull, good karma window stuff you could redo at those times. Creative rings, it seems like when you're dizzy these days, it's not a creative ring issue. It's more like good karma windows and base of skull. But again, you know, sometimes, yeah, I would double check the physical stuff, you know, with physical practitioners as well. Hope that helps. Someone says my hold ground mountain. Yeah, because we looked at the strength of your stepping forward energy and the strength of your holding ground energy. And we compared them as mountains or mountain ranges. So your holding ground mountain is like a tiny platform compared to the step forward mountain. Yeah. Yeah, well, see, that's very educational. I'm sure you've been experiencing that. You step forward and then you get flattened because you don't have enough hold ground strength. Yeah, so that's something you could focus on then. You know, through CV meridian healing and CV Wei Qi aura healing. Also, I mean, you can just imagine your holding ground strength as, you know, as the mountains like we did, or as a garden, you know, but just single out the holding ground ability and strength and just keep strengthening that. Yeah. Someone gives me flower emojis. Thank you. Someone says, thank you so much. Beautiful soul. Your help in my healing has been wonderful. Well, thank you. That's very kind. Appreciate it. Someone says beautiful. Maybe because of the flower image that I was showing. The rhododendrons. Someone says, what do people do with stolen goals and dreams if it's not even their energy? Isn't it blocking them? Yes, it is blocking them, but they do it anyway. People do a lot of dumb shit. Yeah, there's that. They may hold it in their space and just feel like a loser. You know, like say, they're not able to do it because I keep taking my energy back. But I have these two neighbors that really like my garden, but they envy it and they get really stuck about it. So they could like have a lot of their energy out literally in my physical front yard garden, or they could, you know, actually take some of my, you know, goals and dreams and hopes and aspirations for my garden, like from my space, and hold it in their space. And then what they do is they just look at it like a bunch of photos or a bunch of magazines, and then they just feel blocked up and feel sad that they're not doing what they want to do. So yeah, but people do it. You know, it's like that's, and when people are feeling jealous or envious, a lot of times they can be stuck on other people's energy in their space. Doesn't mean someone's a bad person, you know, just people do dumb shit all the time. So if you call back your stuff, then at least, I mean, they might still be stuck, but they're not going to be stuck literally on your stuff. So anyway, somebody says, thank you. You're welcome. Nice little sunflower emoji. Alrighty, let's see. Lost my spot again. So it says method to rational madness. There you go. Someone says, thank you, Janet. This healing was so cool. I feel like I got a lot of myself back. Oh, that's nice. Especially with the GVCV work. I've been reading why my sleep has been so wonky the last few years, and it looks like an inner child issue, i.e. who's in charge, especially for bedtime. I read that if I fix bedtime, my wake-up time will be better. Sure. Yeah. Of course. That's accurate. I'm just laughing because I have a recurring inner child issue with watching K-dramas late at night. It's like I'll be like, oh, I'll just watch for a half hour, and then like 2.5, 3 hours later, I'm like finally stopping watching. I have a thing where it's like I don't want to stop if it's sad. Like I'll wait until there's some happy part, but then I want to see if it gets even happier. So like my most recent, I mean, it doesn't happen every night or anything, but my most recent time that I got stuck watching too much K-dramas late at night was it was like the last 2 episodes of this series that I had watched, and it was like really suspenseful and stressful until like the last like 15 minutes. And then finally like things started to resolve, you know? And so I had trouble reasoning out that, you know, it was worth it to go to bed versus, you know, it's worth it to see the story through to the end. So, I think for me, part of it is inner child, but part of it is like being stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I'm sure my husband, if he's listening, is laughing. I'm very stubborn. And so it's like I'll get into this thing about, you know, society says I should go to bed, or, you know. Of course, I was raised not being able to watch a lot of fun stuff when I was growing up. They had a lot of my parents had a lot of restrictions around TV watching and entertainment watching, like a lot. So yeah, so there's a stubbornness that can get in the way. They can sort of overshadow my overall goals. But part of it too is like I do get joy out of sort of being excessive. Like sometimes I have a problem with moderation. It just seems really boring to me. So there can be deeper issues than just inner child stuff. Like that idea of moderation and balance. And are you bored by that idea of moderation and balance? Because a lot of wellness is, you know, finding balance and moderation, you know, and I tend to not find that as enjoyable sometimes, which really gets me into trouble. Doesn't work out so well. So you could maybe look at that for yourself, see if you have a problem with, you know, moderation and balance. Because I think you've already worked some inner child bedtime stuff, so I don't think that's the most prominent aspect anymore for you. But yeah, so maybe just, you know, you could journal or just think about it in a little more broad sense about like what does bedtime mean to you, or what does, you know, going to bed at a certain time, or, you know, thinking about your sleep cycles. What is that fun for you? And is what you're doing instead more fun? And is there some way you could tweak that? So hope that helps. Still a work in progress for myself personally. All right. So it says, Janet, I think you just accurately diagnosed my abundance problem. Yeah. You were one of the sample people that I was looking at when I designed this healing. Not the only one though. There were some people that it was even more obvious than with you. But yeah. It is past life grief. Oh, actually no. Part of I wasn't looking at you at that time. I was looking at you before, you know, when I was planning the healing, the stepping forward versus the holding ground. That your holding ground energy is a lot weaker than your stepping forward energy. I wonder if you saw that too when you were working it. But anyway, the grief, yeah, that's a gotcha too. Yeah, I saw that. You weren't my sample person for that, but it's a pretty universal thing. I have felt like I've been in mourning since I was a child, but never knew why. How about that? Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you know, and people go into mourning with other people that they care about someone they care about. And so it can feel like a really honorable, positive thing. But then unless it can be something that's really hard to end, unless you are very mindful and you work at it to end your grieving period. It's easy to start, harder to end. It's possible, but you know, It doesn't just end by itself usually. So yeah, that's cool. Nice butterfly emoji. Someone says, thank you. I feel better and my headache is almost gone. Very nice. Yeah, you have a couple hard objects still, you know, like little spear thingies, in some of those back meridians. You could look at, all those points back there. Also, trying to find the side of the head, but maybe I don't have a good. We look at just the gallbladder meridian, that would be an easy side of head image there. All those side of head meridians right there. Lots of good stuff. But yeah, right there, all that good stuff. Fun stuff. But yeah, just double check all those side meridians, the back ones and the side ones. See if you have any sharp spears that you missed removing. And then just do a little extra repair. You could just sticky gold wax your whole head and face, you know, and just lift out all the hard objects and do that a couple of times. Just sticky gold wax everywhere. You know, even if you don't know where the meridians are, just you're imagining that it sticks to any hard objects, any energy blocks that are good, healthy, and gentle to get rid of, and then just lift it off with all the junk. Angels, here you go, and just keep doing that a couple times and ask angels to recycle beings, and then you just use so much gold light that the chakras and the meridians all repair. But yeah, cool. I'm glad it's a lot better. Lost my place again. There we go. Thanks, Janet. Trying to assess waking up with invasive energy. Can't see much, but think it's less. And you're mentioning a person's name, probably coworker. I did clear chakra filament devices, melted floor, sleeps better. Any other angel advice? Okay, so I like that you're doing a self-assessment. You're stating your issue, which is that you wake up in the middle of the night. Not just to pee, but for other reasons. And you notice people in your space when you wake up, but then the question is, you know, is that really why you woke up? You did clear the filaments, chakra filaments. Oh, you had devices on your chakra filaments, I see, yeah. Which you removed and that you repaired the filaments. The fourth filament's a little odd still. The others are very nice. So maybe just, the others are very nice. So just fourth chakra filament, redo that one a little bit more. It gets crimped up a couple places. Melted floor, you mean the invasive people room, where you melt the floor of the room and everyone pops out, which is fun. Your sleep is better. Your sleep slide. Oh, your sleep slide, you could redo that a little, work that a little, unblock your sleep slide more. Which, for those of you who haven't heard that one, it's just your path from your path of your astral body takes from your physical body to the astral when you go to sleep or wake up. And you have a couple like they look like white mattresses that you're trying to walk through, and it's hard to get through them to get back to sleep. Sometimes you can have blocks that only affect you one way, like they only affect you when you're waking up, or they only affect you when you're trying to go back to sleep. So you can check for both of those types of blocks. But you mentioned it in your survey too, this issue, and I was looking at it at that time when I checked your survey, and it's like if you have someone in your space, you know, that you notice when you wake up, what I would say, especially since it's a recurring issue for you and you do work boundaries with these various people, I would say look at where they are in your space and look beneath that. Because it's like if you have energy blocks in your space, it's like a little inviting bench for somebody to sit on, you know, in your space, right? And so you get them off the bench, but then you don't realize the bench is there and you don't get rid of the bench. So then it's just too easy for them to come back, right? So get the benches, you know, where are the, you know, what's the underlying baggage in those locations where you find those people? Because I think that deeper level can really help you with shoring up your boundaries and maybe also your sleep related boundaries in particular. So I hope that helps. So 4th chakra filament, a little sleep slide, both direction unblocking, and get the benches. the blocks in your space that make it so easy for people to come back. The room that you sleep in seems fine. I was double checking that, but it seems okay. Someone says, my first time here. This is wonderful. Well, welcome, 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 welcome. Yay. I do 5 healings a month, these group healings every month. This is the first. First in the set of 3, and then there's a set of 2 later this month. And you can just watch and heal yourself and learn for, of course, no charge. Or you could also purchase the set of healings on my website, jwhealing.com. And then you'd be one of the people that I'm healing as I'm talking out loud and doing the healing. You could also heal yourself at the same time that I'm healing you, but that would be an extra aspect to it if you wish. Rates are sliding scale. They're on my website, yada, yada. I should put my website address. It's the same as, it's similar to the YouTube channel, jwhealing.com. Types. Oh, well, I'm so handicapped. Okay, jwhealing.com. I can do this. I really can. There we go. That's my website. So the May twin set is still on sale on my website, which is the healing later this month on Thursday the 22nd and Sunday the 25th of May 2025. And then the June healings are up. And then the July healings will go up on sale on the 15th of this month. They always go up on the 15th. And if you want to get an email every month on the 15th to remind you, just email me, janet@jwhealing.com, to ask to be on my news email list. Or there's a little form on my website on the contact page. Someone says, thank you for the healing, Janet. Feeling super energetic right now, like I want to dance. Well, go for it. Turn on some music, girl. When I try to read myself, something's blocking my vision, making it look like all is fine. Are those beings? Generally, yes. It could be a person. But yeah, it's interesting. You can be blocked. Like, okay, say yoga dog. I'll get I'll expand my camera for a sec so that I can show this better. So my apologies to the little kittens. So, okay. So say you're yoga dog, right? Okay. And yoga dog wants to read himself. You don't have to sit like that to read yourself, by the way. But he is, so that's fine. I used to sit like this a lot, but my knees don't really like me sitting like this anymore. Which is a bummer because it was fun. I mean, I never sat like that. Maybe I just put the soles of my feet together and I would sit like this, and then I would have to like raise the knees up with my pillows. But now even that, it's like my knees are just a little more delicate. But anyway, so yoga dog is trying to read himself, and yoga dog tries to read himself, and all he sees is all white, or all he sees is all black when he's trying to visualize, like, say, his creative rings up here, right? And so what's wrong that when yoga dog tries to see, or say he's grounding, right? Trying to see your grounding, that's a little bit more stabilizing, because any progress you make will make you more grounded. So that's a good way to practice. So say Yoga Dog is trying to see his grounding, but all he sees is all black. So does that mean that he has all black in and around, in or around his grounding? That's possible. Or does it mean that he has like sort of like a black curtain in between his 6th chakra and his 6th layer? Because your 6th layer of your auras is pretty much where your screen is, your viewing screen. So you're trying to view, and like, you know, there's something in between you and the movie screen. So the movie screen is working, but there's a big black curtain in between. So the big black curtain could be a person. It could be 1 or 2 invasive beings. It could be that you have chakra damage to your 6th chakra. So your 6th layer is just like a mess of, you know, everybody that you know in there. A big soup of, you know, community soup. So that's the issue. Is it that what you're viewing is just all white or all black, and so you're really accurately viewing it and it's just that messy? Or is it that there's a mess between the center of your head and your screen, your viewing screen? Or both? So for you are, let's see, you're trying to read yourself. Something's blocking your vision, making it look like all is fine. Yeah, that's kind of odd, though. If all you see is perfection, that would be kind of a clever being, I guess. Because usually they'll just make it look all white or all black or something, you know. You think everything is fine? Maybe you're just assuming. I don't know, yeah. But I mean, if you look at your grounding, sometimes too, you know, vision kicks in after you get pretty present, you know, and so, or some days maybe your vision isn't great. So use your intuition, you know, otherwise you're spending like all your meditation time trying to get back your vision, and you only have like a half hour and you have to do important things that day. So maybe, you know, devoting the whole time to trying to resuscitate your clairvoyance isn't the best use of your time. So you could just switch to your intuition and, you know, fix all your essentials with your intuition that day. You know, it's doable, you know, or hands with healing, you know, and just go like unblock your grounding, repair your auras, everything, without actually seeing what you're doing. Yeah, that's possible. And a lot of people, if they're newbies, that's what they have to do anyway. They can't see. So hope that helps. But yeah, I think, you know, yeah, you can have stuff in between or right in the 6th layer. But it can be like right in the front of the 6th chakra, you know, so like, say this is your 6th chakra, you know, it could be like right here blocking it. So your point of attention is in your 6th chakra, but it's, you know, all you see is blah. You can't really see. So unblock your 6th chakra, unblock your 6 layers. You know, if you have time, get rid of, you know, imagine any vision blocking curtains and give them to your angels. You know, imagine any invasive beings trying to mess with it all and give those to your angels. It's kind of interesting. I mean, when you think about it, like, okay, so say you're trying to view your grounding and you can't see, it could be there's an invasive being that's in your grounding, but also has access to most of your chakras. So he can kind of shut down your 6th chakra so you can't see that he's hanging out here, you know, whatever. But you don't have to worry about it. I mean, if you don't have a lot of time, you know, because like I said, getting reliable clairvoyance can come and go given the day, or it can take, you know, consistent work over time. And so sometimes, you know, even if you could just see an outline, that's may be enough, you know, to have useful clairvoyance. You know, a lot of people think it's like some gorgeous illustration that you're looking at if you're seeing your energy. But, you know, even if you just see a vague outline, that could be very useful. And if not, then you just do everything based on your intuition, or based on your intuition and your intention. So hope that helps. If you're still working it and you still need more feedback, you could post like under a video what you're trying to view, you know, and like, for example, can you view your energy flow down your arms better than your grounding energy flow? Or can you view certain chakras more than other chakras, you know, like try to sort of, rather than, or can you just never view anything and it looks black, or you never view anything and it looks white, or, you know, what are you trying to do specifically, and try to, you know, investigate it yourself and see what's see what's up. But, you know, if you want feedback, be more specific in the comment later after you work it for a while. Someone gives little cat heart emojis. Oh, because I was showing kittens. That's right. I was like, what? Cat hearts? Let me put that back down. We can see the kittens again. They're so cute. Let's see. Yay for kittens. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. You're welcome. Been very sick lately. Yes. Lots of new medications being prescribed by doctors. Not sure if this is the right path for me, but feel not much of a choice either. Yeah. So that's not a question, really. So just want to mention that. But I'm sorry you're going through that for sure. I guess, you know, if you're wanting your angels to double check your practitioner choice or, you know, the medications, you know, you can like imagine your angels first, you know, give yourself a good clean out, you know, imagine any invasive beings that might mess with your intuition or your communication with your angels and have your angels recycle them. Wash everybody out, all the people out that, you know, anybody, because that can cloud your intuition. And just you can imagine like, you know, a table that, you know, your angels heal, and it's like this table. If it's on the table, that means keep doing it. And if your angels shove it off the table, that means, you know, they don't like it. They have some issue with it. And so you can put an image of like the different practitioners that you're going to on the table and see, you know, and ask your angels to, you know, it's just an energy table you're imagining. And just imagine, you know, that maybe they take one practitioner off the table or they keep them all on the table because they like it. You know, you can double check supplements you're taking and put them on the table, see what your angels do to them. But it seems like your angels are like they give a thumbs up to your accuracy of the situation, your assessment. Seems like they don't have an issue with your accuracy right now. But, you know, that could be a way for you to just double check for your own assurance, you know, what your angels say directly. As far as any energy assistance to make your journey a little more comfortable, maybe heart chakra work and chakra filaments. You know, imagine the 7 astral and 7 physical chakras and those filaments in between, because the filaments seem a little constricted. Like physical 3-2-1 seem physical chakras 3-2-1. They could use a little extra healing, and then all the filaments in between. Physical 7 and astral 7. You know, so all the filaments between the 7 astral chakras and the 7 physical chakras, just, you know, make them nice flowing rivers. But yeah, sometimes, you know, energy healing is not enough, you know, obviously, but that seems like it could help a little. Two, you can ask your angels and just try to imagine stuff that they're showing you about. Because I think with the 4th chakra, it's, you know, when you're going through something and you're technically suffering, you know, a hardship, it's easy to be in your 4th chakra about it versus being in your 6th chakra. Sometimes if you have more of a comforting image about it, it still is very hard, but, you know, maybe ask your angels for some kind of an uplifting image or uplifting thoughts about it, you know, so that you can keep reminding yourself of whatever uplifting thing they showed you, you know, if maybe it's just a nature image, some kind of uplifting nature image, or you could search, you know, the internet for uplifting nature images. I know that, I could post the link for it. there's this really nice, I can't show the images because they're copyrighted images that you have to like purchase a license for. But the YouTube video, presumably they have already done that. So that's their problem. So you get to view the image nicely. But they're very expensive images. But you get to view them for free on a video, which is nice. I'm going to look for the name of that video so I can link it. So I don't know if you're a sunrise and sunset kind of person, but these are nice images that may fit the bill for uplifting images. Yipes. Oh, that's funny. As you can hear, there's an ad that plays. But what you can do is you can mute the video, which I just did. So then you don't hear the ads that play. They don't play that often, but it's kind of a buzzkill when they come on. So you can just mute the video. Right next to the play button on the video, in the lower left, there's like a little speaker image, and if you click that, it mutes the video. But anyway, the title, I linked it. I think I just linked it. I meant to link it. Did I link it? Oop, yeah, I did, but I didn't post it. Okay. So I just posted it. It's called, it's called 9 Hours Most Beautiful Sunrises and Sunsets of the World. So I'll just post the name of it too, in case people just want to search the title of it. But anyway, bottom line, yeah. But images, concepts, ideas may help. There may be some affirmations, something. You could Google, affirmations for, illness, something to keep your spirits up. All right. Hope that helps. Let's see. I lost my place again. Lost my place. It is lost. It is lost. Here we go. Okay. Someone says, I definitely feel like it is. Oh, yeah. I already talked about this. I definitely feel like it is beyond psychiatry too, and meditation as well. I'm trying to look into neurology at this point. Neurology. I guess so. I mean, if you saw like a good general practitioner so they could diagnose you, you know what I mean? Like I used to have a really good traditional Chinese medicine practitioner who is also Western trained. And so, and so she might send someone for a blood test in order to see if they have a Western issue. Western, like they both have. But I don't know that neurology is the only. I mean, if it gets to be dizziness and all that, and you have a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, try to get good general practitioners that can really handle diagnostics. But anyway, okay. Good luck. You can do it. You can look at, there's like a little 3-minute video that I have, Let Angels Help You, something like that, in the short video playlist. If you search like Janet Wright, Let Angels Help, probably come up, hopefully. Let Angels Help. You get a 2-hour live stream that comes up. And then you get another 2-hour live stream that comes up. Oh, then you finally do get the short video. Okay, the title of the short one, the 3-minute one, is called Angel Help. Allow your angels to help more by clearing baggage. Energy healing meditation technique. So I will link that one. Because that's good enough. I mean, if you just keep doing that process, you don't have to do a 2-hour live stream about letting angels help. All right, just posted it. It's also in the short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel page. But that way your angels can help guide you to find the right practitioners, to get good diagnostics on what physical issues are going on with you. Thank you for the healing. And you're mentioning your spouse who is irritable about work. I tried to help and he got upset earlier. Maybe I was courting. Maybe. Last night he felt like I was against his ideas when I was trying to help. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Having a spouse that helps seems like such a great thing, but it's not always so great. Yeah. There's so much there. So the question, so you're saying, so the issue is when you know, you and your husband discuss his work issues, it ends up in conflict. So the question is how and why does it end up in conflict? And your self-assessment is that maybe you're courting. I mean, the image I see is he shows you an idea, which is like a vase, like this blue vase. And he's like, this is my idea. And you're like, sure. Or you could do this. And you make like 4 like really ornate like vases that have like 7 different colors. And you're like, yeah, this. And then he's like, well, what's wrong with my vase? You know, like why do I have to do that? Why can't I do this? And you're thinking that you're kind of like elaborating on his idea and like sort of, you know, brainstorming with him. But I don't really think he wanted to brainstorm with you. I think he just wanted to talk out loud and have somebody just be like, go, 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 you can do it. You know, like very generic, not like business coaching type, you know, workshopping. You don't think he wants to workshop with his wife. He just wants like to talk out loud. And I think your only options when he talks out loud is to say, you know, great job. So I guess the problem is if you don't like his ideas, then you can't really maybe, you know, think of something a little more generic to say. But, you know, it would be better if somebody else, you know, reviewed his business ideas and not you. That way you guys don't have to fight about his business ideas. You know, if there was a business coach that he could work with, a good one though. I mean, the problem with coaching is, you know, there's no, you know, if there was somebody who was like a legit business consultant that he could brainstorm with, I think then he might be a little more open to their input. Versus with you, because you're his wife, it it doesn't work out so well. Just because of, the husband and wife dynamic. It's not really something that is a plus for him. But it's not just him. That's like a typical sort of husband-wife thing. I hope that helps. But yeah, maybe if he could find an actual business consultant, and that way you don't have that sort of awkward no-win situation. Yeah, so don't help. Bottom line, because it's not it doesn't work out that way. He hears it as a criticism of his initial ideas. So it'd be easier for him just to get a business coach if he could, an actual legit business coach, not just someone who says, I'm a business coach. So it says, thank you so much. I felt so much release and loved melting the grief prison. Oh, good. Wondering how, you mentioned your child. Yeah, who got the healing. Their grounding is doing. If I try reading him. Lost my place again. Okay, if I try reading him, it looks like there is something dark in the middle of his grounding and his heart chakra is cracked. Would that be right? It does look stress related right now, though. Actually, something just shifted in him. He is so happy right now. Yeah, he seems pretty fine. His grounding seems pretty nice. It's separate from yours. It's not so separate from your husband's, though. You could kind of like say hi to your husband and just remind him that, for your son to be stronger, the groundings need to be separate, and just wash, and just ask your husband if it's okay, just telepathically with your energy, but just be like, I could, unblock your grounding if you want to, or I could just wash you out of, our son's grounding, whichever, and if I were to, unblock your grounding, it might help you, sleep better and help you deal with your work problem solving better, and so if he says yes, great, and if he says no, then just wash him out of your son's grounding, but, explain it to him. I know you had mentioned, some increasing anxiety that your son is experiencing. I think that what we did today, the holding ground, the yin stuff, it looks like it helped him. It would be interesting in the survey, tomorrow, what you observe about him, if all the behaviors are the same or if they've changed at all. And I'm wondering too what he's open to consciously, because he still is pretty young. So you mentioned that he does a little bit of meditation, but maybe you guys could combine meditation and stretching. Like do some stretching on the floor and ground at the same time, things like that, because it seems like maybe you haven't taught him the connection between, stretching and meditation and anxiety, like to the point where, like, he doesn't seem to understand that if you do the meditation and the stretching regularly, then you might have less anxiety, or like that he doesn't seem to know that all those thoughts are just a symptom of anxiety, and that when you have those thoughts, it's good to center yourself, and, like, I think you try to address it on an intellectual level only and just say, well, that concern, you don't have to worry about that, or next time don't do it, or whatever, versus like, okay, but you're having these thoughts. It could be just a symptom of, your grounding blocking up and your body having some tension and some stress. So let's sit down and do a little stretching and a little grounding right now. You could do a tricolor soak and some stretching. And so try to instruct him on what you do when you have those symptoms, you know, how to self-care when you have those symptoms, you know, and that the anxious, overactive mind and the sort of emotional issues, A, could be a blood sugar thing. So has he eaten protein recently? But B, you know, there are ways to sort of unknot the stresses in your body and your mind at the same time. So maybe, you know, just there's more that you can teach and model with him and walk him through with that. You know, and if he has anxiety at school, you know, maybe he can't sit down and stretch right in the floor at class, but he could, you know, recreate his grounding real fast. You know, he could maybe take a couple deep breaths real fast, you know, because nobody would notice that if he doesn't make big blowout sounds. You know, if he just quietly takes deep breaths, that he could do that anywhere. You know, just in the moment, self-care and body centering practice. I hope that helps. But yeah, right now his grounding seems fine. He seems okay. Someone has a laugh crying emoji. Stubborn here too. Yes. We are our own boss as a kid. LOL. Actually, someone says, oh, I already read that. Okay. Oh, and then I missed something up there. LOL, your K drama watching late at night sounds very similar to me with my late night TV. I do just 10 more minutes, even when my eyes are drooping. Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, holy moly, an hour can go by like that. I think part of that is because it's like part of me is already asleep on the astral, but then there's part of me here still watching the show. And so that's when you really lose sense of time and you can watch for 2 hours and it feels like 20 minutes. So it becomes quite a slippery slope at that point. But I think the thing about like what I perceive as boring and no fun and like, oh, that's no fun, you know, like bedtime as no fun and all that, you know. And I think, you know, if you unblock your heart chakra, maybe, you know, that could be, and I know that there are things that are safer than other things. Like I have like videos in playlists that are music videos, you know, and that, well, they're K-drama compilation videos to different songs. And so the songs are really good songs. And, you know, it'll show different scenes from different movies and they're really good. And so I can watch those and I don't end up binge watching for hours if I'm just watching those. You know, so I'll like put it to a certain part of the playlist where there's like 3 songs in a row that I really like or whatever, you know, and so that can help me sort of feel like, oh, I'm having fun, you know, before bed. Because I seem to want this having fun before bed thing, you know, to like end on a good note, you know. But if I have fun with K dramas before bed, then there have been a few times where I've been able to, you know, pull myself back into like awareness of time. I'm going to bed now, but many times it's very long, time consuming. It can be extremely fun though, but then the next day it's not so fun. So yeah, but music playlists, I guess, is my one thing that I have found that, you know, it still peps me up, but I can still go to bed. You know, I might listen to one more song as opposed to, you know, 10 more minutes with a K drama that turns into, you know, 2.5 hours. um, so let's see. Um, Someone says, actually, oh wait, yes, I clearly saw that my holding ground energy was only a quarter of what my moving forward energy was. Yeah. That would explain why I'm always in entry level jobs, even though I'm 53 years old. Yeah, it would. Yeah. And two, I think it explains why you get good at something and then all of a sudden you don't want to do it. I think sometimes you can just do it and then you've checked all your boxes and you're just done. But I think sometimes you get pretty good at something and then all of a sudden you have no desire to do it anymore. And I think it's just that your love for it has gotten completely crushed. Because of the whole holding ground thing. It's, a weaker holding ground energy. So yeah, I think there's a lot that you could work with that so that you can actually continue to enjoy certain things. And also, sometimes you'll do something and it wasn't a bad idea. It's just that you were so sure it was a forever idea, but it was a temporary idea. It was like it's sort of like the relationship version of like short-term compatible and long-term compatible. And so sometimes you'll find like a short-term career idea, but you thought it was a long-term career idea. So then you it really blows your mind when you maybe don't want to do it anymore because you're so sure it was a long-term, and then you take it personally like life is terrible or something. Like you kind of spin around about it like, ah. So yeah, I think just you're holding ground energy could keep strengthening that. And that'll make it easier for you to shift gears if you need to, or just keep going with something and keep enjoying it, or get back to enjoying it. Anyway, all right, cool. Someone says, thanks, makes sense. 4th chakra filament needs work. The last 2 days I've been feeling lonely. Yes. And as I always say, loneliness, a lot of times it doesn't mean that, you can be lonely because you don't have people in your life or certain social needs being met, or, sexual needs being met by other people. But a lot of it has to do with a blocked 4th chakra. And if you unblock your 4th chakra and you get that really going again, then you may actually have changed nothing in your social life or your sex life, but you just don't perceive it in the same way at all. And it doesn't suck as bad, anywhere near as bad, which is excellent. And then, you can maybe figure out some workarounds. So yeah, 4th chakra is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, you're saying I find people in my back body in my sleep, maybe benches there. Yes, I would agree. Also, maybe some of your Wei Chi auras back there. The back of some of your Wei Chi auras, you have some benches. So it says, I can relate to being bored with moderation and balance. Yeah. Yeah. You can be like addicted to thrill seeking and then just feel like moderation and balance is just the most soul killing boredom thing you've ever even contemplated. But that's just some stuck energy. That's not like actual wisdom. All right. So it says, thank you, Janet, for the sunset site. You are welcome. Someone says, thank you for your feedback. I got beings recycled, and the issue seems to be some oppression baggage that shuts me down. I don't remember what you were initially talking about. So my memory is very short, by the way. So if you did want me to double check, just post under the video the actual issue first and then the self-assessment so I can see both at once. Someone says, many thanks for these new techniques. I feel hopeful. Oh, good. Someone says, oh, we're getting some good acupuncture. That's cute. GB20 and bladder 10. So usually I say urinary bladder 10. So urinary bladder 10. I don't even know which GB20, what that is relating to. I know governing vessel 20 is up here, and that's a really cool one to work. But GB20, gallbladder 20, and urinary bladder 10, you could write what that, wait, you just said GB Important for decision making. Yes, true. Cool. Yes. There are really cool videos. Well, I already played the gallbladder one, but anyway, I really like those YouTube videos that show each meridian. I could link that playlist too if anybody needs it. Let me find that. It's really funny. Like later in when I watch myself in these videos, that's the only time usually that I realize how much I keep my mouth open. Like, like when I'm typing, I'll be like, where is that really cool playlist? Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is actually a good one. It's funny. Oh my gosh. Be forewarned though. It's like major crotch graphics. It's so funny. So but this is a funny one to link. But it shows the GV meridian, which is also called DU, but I always call it GV for governing vessel. And then Ren meridian, which is also the CV meridian, also called the CV meridian, conception vessel. But anyway, it shows an individual video for those two. But the reason why I usually don't play it is because it shows like really graphic, like because it's a male model, and it shows like this like huge close up of his like scrotum, like. So anyway, CV and GV videos, crotch warning. It's just kind of funny. But then the other videos, though, too, I was looking for those. The 12 meridian. I put them in a playlist. There we go, in the order of flow. So that's kind of nice because not only do you see all the videos, but then they're arranged in the order of you know, so you can see which meridian flows into which meridian, which is useful, you know, because if one meridian's blocked up, then you can also investigate the one right before that to see where the clog actually begins. So here's that playlist. Anybody wanting to geek out on that stuff? So for some reason, I didn't make the videos though. I'm very grateful to the person who did on YouTube, but I ordered their playlist was not in the order of flow, so I feel like this is more useful to have the playlist in the order of flow. So if you wanted to double check and just watch the whole playlist and check them all like quickly as you watch, you know, kind of fun too. Yeah, it is the hairy guy though. It is. Somebody says nothing can surprise me after the hairy guy. Yeah, but it is the hair guy. But then it's like this close up. So anyway, there's that. But yes, gallbladder meridian is important for decision making, assertiveness. Bam, that's true. So fun times. If you want to work the meridians, that's the playlist. So I guess I read everybody's stuff. But yeah, let me know the person who mentioned GB20 and bladder 10, urinary bladder 10, what that was relating to, why you mentioned those 2 points. I'd be curious to know. You can put that in the comments, repost the points and the purpose why you said it, or just put it in the chat now before I end. Oh, I do want to do a plant update. Let me go full screen and do a little plant update because it's cute. I actually have plant news, plant related news. And then I'll be done. Oh, Nico. Yeah, thank you. Oops, sorry. I usually try not to say people's names. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. You did write something. Good. This is, hey, Janet. I've been working a lot with that inner child to process. Oh, yeah, because there's a short video in the short video playlist for inner child work. To process the grief that your inner child went through. I have been pretending I don't feel that pain until recently. It's triggering, but am I doing okay on that? I would say make it more fun than that. I mean, you've done that. Your spirit's getting a little bored doing it that way. So maybe design something different for yourself, unless you're not consciously bored about it. But you do seem to be a little bit like you're yawning to me. Like, so just like me and the K-dramas and bedtime, you know, you don't want it to seem unfun, something that you want yourself to do. So, you could, let's see, what would be a fun way since you're bored with the other way? Clearing grief that your inner child went through. I think it's more abuse baggage at this point. Like, abuse baggage is a nice catch-all. You know, it's like junk from shitty times. is abuse baggage. So you could just make like a mountain of abuse baggage and set it on fire with gold fire, or make a big gold dumpster and just shove some abuse baggage in the dumpster and then set the dumpster on fire with gold fire. Something like that amuses you. But like healthy and gentle amount of abuse baggage. And do it a couple rounds of it. So, because sometimes you might do one dumpster full and then you're like, okay, good enough for now. But like your spirit is like, no, I want to do more. And so it'll be like triggered because you meant to clear more, but consciously you were like, no way, So make sure you do enough, like healthy and gentle, but not too little, but just do it as dumpsters or, whatever kind of fun. But yeah, I would say switch it to abuse baggage, childhood abuse baggage. Which could be psychological, mental, sexual, physical, whatever, social, whatever. Just shitty stuff from shitty times. Just blow it up. And then you could end it with, healing flowers to nourish yourself, to help you be more like truly restored from having gone through those shitty times. So pair it with the nourishing, and I think that way you seem to be more, you show me like glittery, kind of seems more joyful for you. So get rid of the abuse baggage, healthy and gentle amount, but in a fun way, like make it into colorful fireworks or something that you like, some process that you like. And then, flowers or whatever to nourish back. Yeah, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for the healing, Janet. You are welcome. Hello to you. Got it. I got to be more fun with myself. Haha. Yes. Someone says, I'm happy to report I am getting some leadway with finding a new job. Oh, good. Anything from my angels to work on. Today, in today's healing, I'm not sure that you were able to hear it yet, the live stream, but today we did this thing where you step forward and then you hold your ground, and you step forward and you hold your ground. So it was like this yang yin thing where they both ideally would be equally as strong. And I think that you could work that a lot. Like in the way that we did, we nourished like both the CV and GV Wei Qi auras and unblocked them a lot more than we normally would. And then we also envisioned them as mountain ranges. So your strength for stepping forward and your strength for like holding ground after you step forward. Because I think that I don't want to tell you which is stronger, but you have one that's a lot stronger than the other, it seems. And so if you get them both strong, then you can step forward and hold it, and step forward and hold it, and step forward and hold it, and you know, keep going rather than you step forward and it gets flattened, or that, you know, you can't step forward. So whatever, that could be cool. So I would just say, you know, redo some stuff from today would be great. But congratulations so far on your progress. That's great. Okay, so I will do a plant update, and then that's it. So I got to get the plants, but it'll just take me a minute because they're just in a room. Our house is very small, so it's easy for me to go into that room for a second and get the plants. So I gotta put my papers away though in case my plants are wet. I don't want to mess up all my papers. Okay, I'll be right back. All righty. So, this is the time of year where I usually, you know, I'm growing inside the little baby plants that I will be planting outside in June, late May maybe, depends. But so this is basil. Going to be basil plants that are going to be out in our garden. This is Persian basil. I'm growing 3 kinds of basil actually. Persian basil and 2 kinds of Thai basil. But these are really young. They're gonna become actually, do I have a photo? Yeah, it's the Thai basil is the Persian basil. I have a photo of it. See. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. So that's from like 2 years ago or something, but that's what it's gonna look like. So these are the babies, and they're gonna turn into that. So kind of cool. And then so then this is a little baby tomato plant. It's just starting to get, it's like they call them true leaves. The first 2 leaves are not the true leaves. They're just like they're just the first 2 leaves that grow. And when they just have the 2 leaves, they're getting nourishment from the seed itself. But then once the extra leaves grow, those are the ones that look more like the eventual plant's gonna look. So you can see right in the middle there, they're like some true leaves are just starting to grow. There. So this is a plant. Oh, and I put it in a it's like low down in the container because especially with tomato plants, you can keep burying the stem and then the stem grows more roots. So as this gets taller, I'll just put more dirt around so then it gets more roots along what used to be the stem. It'll just become more of the roots. So that way it'll be bigger and have better roots without me having to put it in a different pot. But then eventually I probably will put it in a different pot For the tomato plants, I'm trying to really baby them to get them as awesome as possible before I get them out there. But for the basil, I'll end up just picking. This is the hard part though, because initially you have like all these little seeds that sprout, and then right now I'm just narrowing it down, but then eventually I'll actually get rid of 2 of them and just keep 1 of them, which is kind of wild, you know, because I want to keep all of them, but then I end up with too many plants and I can't find them all, and it really stresses me out. So I have to be, you know, be disciplined. But anyway, so eventually I'll just be picking one of these. So it's funny because I'll kind of like touch them, and then I feel the vibe of that plant and see if it's, you know, how strong it is. And I basically, you pick the strongest one and you compost the others. So it's kind of a weird process. But anyway, that way that one will just be growing in here and I won't have to repot it. I'll just it'll become bigger in here, and then I'll just put it straight into the garden. I'll take it out and put it in the garden. So I won't have to keep potting it up. I'll only do that for the tomatoes this year. I'm trying to be more efficient, time efficient. And then this is the cutest little sprout in the world. It's really bright green, more bright green than usual. Like this is the Persian basil, and this is I guess they look somewhat similar, but it's like it's just extra bright green. It's called Korean agastache or Korean hyssop. And I didn't get it because I like K-dramas. I got it because it's bright green. Because as a plant, it's bright green too. It like really stands out in the garden, the leaves. And I mean, of course I like bright green, so that's a good reason. But also in the spring, like weeds grow like crazy. In the Pacific Northwest, like it's like everything grows like crazy in the Pacific Northwest, basically. I mean, some plants die, of course, the ones that you're really trying to, but everything grows like crazy. And so if you have these plants, you know, in the spring growing back, because they're perennial, they grow for a few years, they grow back up from the ground in the spring, at least you can tell, like, because it's bright green. So you're like, okay, that's not a weed. Because otherwise it's hard, because you're like, do I pull that one? Is that a weed, or is that one of the plants that's supposed to come back, you know? So this way, these are bright green. So that's why that's one of the reasons I like them. Also, they have a nice spike with purple flowers, and, you know, the pollinators like it. But anyway, I have to pick one winner out of all these cute, adorable little babies. Which is why I haven't done it yet, because it's like, it's hard to do. They're so cute. But if I don't do it, then they'll be stunted. They won't grow right, you know, because they're too crowded. So, but they're so cute. But anyway, so that's my garden update. So I have marigolds growing like this. I have the tomato plants, I have the basil, and I have some other perennial plants like this Korean agastache, and then I have some other agastache that's not bright green. And I'm trying to get more perennial flowers so that I don't have to start from scratch each year. You know, there are things that just keep coming back every year. So that's that. Someone says, are you growing black tomatoes with unusual shapes like the last year? There will definitely be tomatoes with unusual shapes, yes. Yeah, heirloom tomatoes just sort of do their own thing. They're not like, you know, perfect store tomato type. They're very funky with weird shapes. So yeah, I'll be growing plenty of those. And I'm not growing any that are purely black. Although those are really good for you, because I think they're called anthocyanins that make them like a purpley black, and that's like an antioxidant. So it's really healthy for you that they are that purpley black color. But the problem with the black ones, if they're partially red and partially black, that is what I'm going to grow. Certain varieties, you know, but there are some varieties that, like Black Beauty, I think, is like all black, even the underside of it. And the problem with those is you can't tell when it's time to pick it, like when it's ripe. I mean, if it's in the house already and it's mushy, then you can tell, but it's like when it's on the vine, they're all black, and so it's hard to know, like, oh, I should pick it. Because with a tomato, once it starts to turn color, you could pick it, and then it'll just keep ripening in the house. But if it's not turning like a ripening kind of color yet, it could still be getting bigger. And so it would be premature to pick it, you know, but if it's all black, you don't have that indicator. So I will not be growing all black ones, but yeah, the type that I grew last year, I will be growing again. And I saved seed for the first time. I saved tomato seed from our tomatoes. And I labeled them all and it was all very careful. So like this one is from a tomato that we ate last year, this seed. So yeah, pretty cool. You like do this fermenting process. You basically like let them mold in water in like a specific way, and then you dry out the seeds, and then you save them and you plant them. So yeah, and the reason I'm starting all this indoors is because we have a lot. I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, there are a lot of slugs and other bugs and animals that, you know, if they were like this big, it would take like 2 seconds for a slug to eat it and then eat all of the others, you know, one night. And so I have to grow them indoors till they're a certain, you know, size so that they're not as appealing to the bugs and slugs, and also so that, you know, they can handle, you know, holding their ground. So anyway. All right. So that's it for the plant update. I hope everyone's having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you, and you're really amazing. Take care. And with some confetti. All right. Bye. You're amazing. Bye.